So, we've all seen the magic of large language models, right? You ask it something, and boom, you get this brilliant, almost magical answer. But here's the thing the moment you try to build a real working application on that magic, you slam right into a wall made of some very hard, very real world problems. Today, we're going to talk about the new kind of software that's helping developers smash right through that wall. It all starts with something you've probably experienced, and it's super frustrating. You're chatting with an AI, maybe you tell it your name, and then 2 sentences later, it has no idea who you are or what you were just talking about. Now, that's not a bug. It's actually a core limitation, and it points to a much, much bigger challenge for anyone trying to build with AI. The way we first thought about these LLMs was kind of like an oracle. Imagine this brilliant mind just stuck in a room. It knows a ton from all the books it's read, that's its training data, but that's it. It can't learn anything new, it can't remember the conversation you just had, and it has absolutely zero connection to what's happening in the outside world. To build anything useful, we have to get it out of that room. And that brings us to what developers started calling, pretty dramatically, the 4 horsemen of pain. These are the 4 big, fundamental challenges that you hit immediately when you try to take an LLM from being a cool demo to being a real production-ready application. Okay, so what are they? We've got amnesia, isolation, myopia, and unreliability. Each one is a critical missing piece of the puzzle. Let's break them down one by one. First up, amnesia. At their core, LLMs are what's called stateless. That means every single request you send is a brand new interaction. It's a completely blank slate. The model has absolutely no memory of what you said before. It's like trying to have a deep conversation with someone who can't form any new memories. Next, we have isolation. An LLM is basically frozen in time, trained on data up to a certain point, and that's it. It can't check today's weather, it can't look up a stock price, and this is a huge one for businesses, it can't access your company's private documents or emails. It's totally disconnected from the real, live world. The third horseman is myopia or nearsightedness. If you give an LLM a really complex goal, like say, research the top EV competitors and write a summary report, it just can't. It's really bad at breaking that big task down into a logical plan of smaller steps, and then actually executing that plan. And finally, we have maybe the scariest one of all, unreliability. LLMs can hallucinate. That means they can just make stuff up. Facts, sources, numbers, and state it with total, unwavering confidence. And since they can't check their own work, this is a complete deal breaker for any serious application where getting things right actually matters. So with these 4 horsemen running wild, developers started writing tons and tons of custom code, what they call boilerplate, to fix the same problems over and over and over again. It was a mess. It was super inefficient. And right out of that chaos, a whole new category of software was born, the orchestrator. This is where this idea of middleware for AI just clicks. Think of these orchestration frameworks as the new plumbing, the toolkits, the superglue for AI. Their entire job is to take that brilliant LLM brain and finally give it a pair of hands to actually interact with the world and a memory so it can learn and remember. This new set of tools created a massive shift in how developers think. They went from being prompt engineers, just trying to write one single perfect sentence to get the right answer, to becoming workflow engineers. They stopped just talking to the LLM and started designing entire systems around it, using that LLM as the core brain for a much bigger operation. In the early days of this whole new world, 2 open source projects really stepped up and defined the entire space. And honestly, the best way to get what they do is with a simple analogy: the Conductor versus the Librarian. So on one side, you've got LangChain. Think of it as the Conductor. It's a general framework that's all about coordinating complicated workflows. Just like a conductor leads an orchestra, LangChain tells all the different parts, an API, a database, the LLM itself, exactly what to do and when to do it. And on the other side, you have LlamaIndex, and it's the Librarian. It has one very specific, very important job: to become an expert on your data. Its whole purpose is to read, catalog, and index all of your private information so it can find the one perfect piece of knowledge the LLM needs, exactly when it needs it. And here is the key difference. LangChain's main goal is to let LLMs do things. It tackles the isolation and myopia problems. LlamaIndex's main goal is to let LLMs know things. It solves for amnesia and unreliability. See? They're not competitors. They're 2 sides of the same coin, each one built to take down a different pair of those horsemen. So what happened once we had this crucial middleware? Well, it kicked off what people are calling a Cambrian explosion of new AI apps. Suddenly, all these powerful tools that were just way too hard to build before became totally possible. And here's what's so cool. In the real world, it's not a choice between LangChain or LlamaIndex. The best, most powerful systems use them together. They use the Librarian, LlamaIndex, to be the expert on all the data, and they use the Conductor, LangChain, to manage the big picture logic and all the actions. It's an incredibly powerful combo. This pattern has unlocked a whole new class of software. I'm talking about things like custom Q&A bots that know everything about your company's internal documents, autonomous agents that can go out and do research for you, co-pilots that help customer service agents answer questions in real time, even systems that automate really complex business processes. And we are not talking about small improvements here. Take the fintech company Klarna. They built an AI assistant using these very tools. And the result? An 80%, 80, reduction in the time it takes to solve a customer's problem. That is a massive, tangible impact on the business. This stuff isn't just an experiment in some R&D lab anymore. You've got major companies, Uber, BlackRock, Cisco, Vodafone, deploying these systems in the real world right now, delivering serious business value. This technology has officially arrived. So what does this all really mean? It means the job of a software developer is changing, and it's changing fast. The most valuable skill isn't just writing lines of code anymore. It's about designing, managing, and debugging entire systems of intelligent agents working together. The new job title is basically AI Orchestrator. Which brings us to one final, really important thought. If the future of building software is less about writing code and more about conducting intelligence, the question for all of us is, are you ready to pick up the baton?